God is the greatest, death to America, death to Israel, curse be upon the Jews, victory to Islam. This chilling slogan belongs to the Houthi Shiite Islamic militia, a group that has not only terrorized Israel and international shippings in the Red Sea, but has also inflicted immense suffering on their own people since seizing control of Yemen's capital, Sana'a, in 2014. Since October 7, Yemen's Iranian-backed Houthi rebels have launched over 200 missiles and drones at Israel, targeting major cities and escalating tensions in this region. In recent weeks, these attacks have intensified dramatically, with ballistic missiles triggering air raid sirens in central Israel, including Tel Aviv. Every night between 2 and 4 a.m., millions of Israelis, young and old, are jolted awake, rushing to their safe rooms as missiles threaten their safety. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has emphasized that Israel's strikes against the Houthis are about more than just defending its own citizens. They are part of a larger effort to safeguard global stability. Yemen's Iranian-backed Houthi rebels have disrupted international shipping routes and threatened regional security. Israel is acting as a frontline defender against forces that endanger not only the Middle East, but broader international community. Netanyahu highlighted that Israel's decisive actions are sending a clear message: those who sponsor and carry out terrorism will face consequences that extend far beyond their immediate targets. Defense Minister Israel Katz issued a powerful warning to the Houthis, declaring, "The long arm of Israel will reach you." Katz further emphasized that Israel's commitment to neutralizing threats by reflecting past operations against key figures, we will strike strategic infrastructure and decapitate its leaders. Just as we did to Yahya Sinwar, to Ismail Haniyeh, and Hassan Nasrallah in Tehran, Gaza, and Lebanon, we will do in Hodeidah and Sana'a. As the Houthis intensify their aggression, Israel's resolve to defend its people and respond with strength has never been clearer. So guys, just arrived here at Yemenite Falafel to meet with Mati Shoshani, have lunch, and discuss about the Houthis. Okay, the Houthis are part of Yemen, and we have a lot of Yemenite Jews that immigrated to Israel from that country. So we're here. I'll show you the falafel. So I got the first falafel to try it out before we start this recording. It's hot. Very good. The Yemenites do know how to make some good food. Stop. So, Mati, I'm very hungry, so we're gonna eat today at the Yemenite Falafel Center in Jerusalem.
My name is Moti Mabarik. I work here in the falafel.
Are you from Yemen?
No, I'm born in Israel. My father is come for 100 before in Israel.
Where did your family originally came from?
In Yemen. Falafel?
Yes,
we're coming
yes.
in.
Okay, you come in. Okay.
Oh, it's cold outside today. This isn't some gimmick because it's a Yemenite, et cetera, in the Houthis. This place is a legend in Jerusalem and Israeli culinary scene.
I have to stop. You guys have to see this. Look at this.
You have to see this. So this is abnormal to what most people eat.
Yeah.
It's lachoch. It's a Yemenite traditional fried bread.
Yeah, with
compared
falafel.
to what it usually comes in a lapa or a pita.
Yeah. So this the falafel has a salad, has spicy. Hope I won't die, and additional very good stuff. Okay, wait. This is amazing. Come to Jerusalem. Come here.
It's been a week. We've had rocket fire almost every day for 10 days straight, almost from the Yemenites.
From Yemen and from the Gaza Strip.
Yes. So we've woken up multiple times in the middle of the night at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., rocket launches. And all of these, or most of them, are coming from the Houthis, which are the rebels in Yemen.
Yes, yes, okay. So I think it's important to explain to everybody who are the Houthis, where they came from, I mean, what's their agenda, and how long are they controlling Yemen already?
The Houthis are a terrorist organization that takes over much of Yemen. They've taken over the economy, taken over the ports, taken over extensive patches of the country, and caused unbelievable damage to the people of Yemen. Their GDP has shrunk by almost 50% since 2015. Their unemployment is over 75%. Most of the economy of the country is foreign aid at this point.
Yeah, I think that the majority of the food that enters this country comes from humanitarian aid that goes into the port of Hodeidah, which is one of the port cities that are under control by the Houthis.
Yeah.
So we have this situation that all the, assistance and the aid that enters the country goes through this terrorist organization.
So you ask yourself the question automatically, well, if they control one port, why can't you send the aid to another port?
Let's send it to a different one.
Well, it turns out the Houthis are not suckers. What they did is they blocked off other ports from receiving any aid, so aid can come into the country only through the ports that the terrorist organization controls. Similar, if you can remember, to what's been happening in Gaza.
Yeah.
It's not a problem, a shortage of aid that's coming in. It's that the terrorists prevent the aid from getting to the civilians. One, to perpetuate their suffering, because they don't care about their well-being.
Yeah.
Two, to control the finances of everything that happens in the country. It's terrible.
No, definitely. And together with the food and aid organization that goes into these ports, the Iranian regime are sending in missiles, rockets. Just imagine that one ballistic missile that is launched at Israel cost a few millions of dollars to create, to manufacture, to train the people to know how to use it. And this is the country that most of the population do not know what they'll eat the next week.
Let's not be innocent.
What?
It's not the Yemenites.
Definitely not.
It's the Iranians.
Yeah.
It's their terrorist overlords, like in every other part of the Middle East. It's the Iranian, specifically the IRGC, exporting violence and destruction to the Middle East. Yeah. They did it in Lebanon with Hezbollah, did it in Syria, they've done it with Hamas.
In Iraq.
In Iraq, they've done it elsewhere. They've done it in other countries in Europe even, they've brought in destruction, and now they're doing it in Yemen. Yeah. That's it. No. They export violence and destruction everywhere they go.
Yeah, and also, we can also talk a little bit about the Islamic ideology and the kind of radical laws that are imposed in the country of Yemen. So, I mean, the rights of women in this country suffered severely since the Houthis are in control.
Here's what's happening in Yemen. They've gone back to Middle Ages level of civilities. Women can't drive, women can't study, women can't leave the house or travel without written permission from the man of the house. That's what's going on in Yemen right now.
You can marry in Yemen from the age of 8.
If you're a woman, of course.
If you're a woman, I mean, the father can marry you off.
You don't see any demonstrations, no one's talking about this.
Yeah, nobody cares
This is what's happening in Yemen, but they can only talk about what's happening in Israel.
Yeah.
Now, we're not perfect, but I care about human life. And, I'd like to see these people getting some kind of help, some kind of aid.
I'd like all the money that is invested into bringing humanitarian aid into the country of Yemen to reach those in need. Yeah. And not just these terrorist organizations that use them for themselves and sell these goods to the poor people of Yemen. So why did Iran choose Yemen? I mean, just another country? No. It's far away from Israel, so we don't have a border with them.
They're weak, they're destabilized, and they sit on the main artery of naval transport in the world.
Oh, so that's not just about Israel now. It's like about influencing and destabilizing the world.
It's terrifying. Think about it. I don't remember what the number is. We should look it up. The number of, the percentage of global GDP that passes through the Bab el-Mandab Straits, let's say it's somewhere around 20%. It's a huge amount. So everything that comes from India, China, that wants to get to anywhere in North Africa, anywhere in Europe, they go through Bab el-Mandab, the straits near Yemen.
Yeah.
So it's Yemen on one side and Eritrea on the other, two very, very weakened countries. And then they go from there up into the Suez Canal.
Yeah.
The other people who suffer from this are the Egyptians.
Yeah.
The Egyptians, I don't want to say they rely on, but a big portion of the cash that they have in their country, especially in foreign currency, comes from the Suez Canal.
Yeah, definitely.
And the Suez Canal, when the Houthis destabilize the region, the Suez Canal becomes irrelevant. Everyone just shuttles around Africa.
And who pays for it? All of us.
All of us, yeah.
On goods we buy, we have more
we want to buy deodorant in the store. We want to buy a car. We want to buy clothing. It becomes more, not just for Israel, everyone in the region, it becomes more expensive.
Definitely. And in general, all the ships that go through these areas need additional protection, need higher insurance, or just to change the whole route altogether.
Let's get ourselves out of the rain before our camera's ruined.
What is Israel doing in order to counter all these terrorist attacks from the Houthis?
Well, not
It's
enough.
far, it's far.
Let's be honest here. Not enough. It's very hard to stop a terrorist organization that's embedded within the population from sending one rocket a night. So look, even if you held onto the ground in Yemen, you wouldn't be able to stop everything.
No, Yemen is huge.
It's
we
a
don't
huge
have
country.
enough forces even to, to deploy there. Plus, it's 2,000 kilometers away from us.
Yeah.
Like, our only response ability is through the Air Force.
We've talked about this. The Houthis don't exactly obey the Iranians.
Yeah.
So you can't, even if you forced the Iranians, scared them, completely, and whatever you can threaten them with, they still wouldn't be able to completely stop the Houthis. Because the Houthis sort of do what they want.
Yes.
And they use the weaponry that was given to them when they want to. And even if they did tell them to stop, the Houthis wouldn't necessarily listen. And then it gets worse. Even if you stopped everything the Houthis were doing, bombed their ports, bombed their military facilities, they're still embedded inside the population.
Yeah, I think what we need to do is either stop the Iranians from sending advanced weapons. Okay, so let's say we have the Houthis, they want to kill us, they want to hate us, but they don't have the technological abilities to do so. That would be good for Israel.
This isn't a paid army. These aren't mercenaries in the traditional way. They're indoctrinized individuals who already were radical Muslims.
Yeah.
They weren't waiting for the Iranians to indoctrinate them. They were already radical Muslims. They were already violent. They're already very much like there when it comes to being a terrorist organization. And the Iranians just gave them more firepower and diverted their attention into the right direction for the Iranians.
Before they launched attacks against Israel, they launched swarms of suicide drones at Saudi Arabia. So they were aggressive against any non-Iranian actor in this region.
Yeah.
Just now, they're focused against Israel.
All they need is one missile that can make it to Israel, and they can take action.
Yeah, and that destabilizes the whole country because we're a small country. And if they send these, huge ballistic missiles, then in order to protect the entire country from either debris or from a direct hit, alarms go off all over. And Israelis rush to the bomb shelter.
But look, that's the advantage of terrorism.
Yeah.
The entry ticket into it is very, very low. Well, what can the Israeli army do? We bombed their ports, we bombed their energy.
Airport.
Yeah, we've taken steps we haven't done in the past, which is bomb some of the energy production facilities.
Yeah.
So some of the power plants that were supplying, I guess, the electricity for the batteries that power it, for their infrastructure, for their command centers, we're bombing them too. But at a certain point, you're hurting the population so much
that it can be
it's like
bad for you.
Yeah, but it's also a marginal gain. What are you getting from the Houthis?
Yeah.
Like they'll keep fighting, and they say this. Their whole MO, their whole religion is death to America, death to Israel, and fight.
Curse the Jews.
Yeah.
God is great.
So let's summarize everything we've been talking about. Here's our hope. Our hope is that something positive happens with the Houthis. Is that the people of Yemen, first and foremost, get something better than the Houthi terrorists and the Iranian overlords, supplying them with weaponry and funds and violence. That's the first thing we're hoping
Definitely.
for. Secondly, we're hoping that the people of Israel get a rest. No more rockets waking us up in the middle of the night. No more of this threat over the heads of our children and our families. Ballistic missiles flying from across the ocean, 2,000 kilometers away, to target the people of Israel. And overall, for a peaceful resolution to what's been happening.
And what can you do about all of this? Because it's a lot of information and it's hard to understand what can we actually do. Please click that subscribe button, subscribe to TBN Israel on YouTube, and then together we can reach more people. We believe in an amazing God that can move mountains, can make peace between enemies. And that's what we need to do. We need to unite in prayer. So please pray for the peace of Yemen, pray for the peace of Jerusalem, and keep praying for Israel.
Beautifully said, Yael.
Thanks, Mati. And let's have lunch again.
Let's do it. Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN Israel today online at tbn.org/Israel. Thank you.